All right. Good morning, everybody. Agents, people of Phoenix, happy to have you on for another webinar this morning. My name is Keith Flynn. I'm the Director of Digital Marketing here at West USA Realty. We are, again, I'm always excited, regardless of what the topic is, but I am excited for Facebook groups this morning. So as you can see, we are going to be covering the use of Facebook groups this morning for real estate agents. Fantastic tool for you guys to use. One that I still think is pretty underutilized. And so we will jump into some tips, tricks, ideas, suggestions, and go through that for you this morning. But before we get going, most importantly, we can't do what we do without the support from some of our awesome vendors. And I know that we've got two this morning who are on board with us who are going to take a moment to share with you guys all. But I wanted to say thank you to both of them for attending. We're going to start off with Ryan Wright with OneGuard. Ryan is the...
I'm not Ryan.
Oh, well, not Ryan, but we have someone from OneGuard, and we're going to have her jump in here. We're really excited about having them as a sponsor this morning. So with that, who's on the horn with us?
Hi, everybody. I'm actually Shelly Carr. I am
it's Shelly. Cool.
Yeah, I'm the business development manager for OneGuard. I always like to say I'm the brains behind Ryan's beauty. No, but yeah, Ryan is, I think he is at the Arrowhead meeting. He's at another West USA meeting. So
hey, that works.
To jump on today and just say hello. Thank you guys for joining us today. We love West USA. We love our partnership and helping sponsor these events. And just wanted to give you a quick State of the Union with OneGuard. Yeah, so it is air conditioning season, I always call it. It is one of those great times to be a home warranty rep. One of the great things about OneGuard is that we're local. So that means that we have our pulse, we have our hands on the pulse of the air conditioning season. And one of the differences about us is that we really monitor our contractors. We monitor the temperatures, and we have a person in our office named Mike Coffey. He's fantastic, but he's kind of that obsessed about air conditioning, and so he's been watching the weather. He's been watching how it's fluctuating, and we had a great spring, and then all of a sudden these hot temperatures hit. And just to let you know, we did 1,000 calls, I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
1,000 air conditioning calls, which is something that we would normally do in July. So when we got hit hard. And there's a great thing about it though. The fact that we got hit hard and we got hit fast and we got hit early means that we got a lot of breakdowns out of the way. So while those people who experienced those breakdowns during that time, they were in their house and it was kind of unfortunate, but it wasn't in their house without air conditioning at 115 degrees. So it kind of seems like a bad thing, but yet it's a good thing, because when it's in July and it's 115 degrees and you really can't be in your house, we were able to take care of those things early. So yeah, it's great. We've been plugging along as far as the COVID experience has been. We were able to get our contractor, or everybody in our office was remote within 1 to 2 days, which is awesome. Fantastic. And really, we haven't skipped a beat. Our contractors wearing masks. They are wearing, gloves. They're taking all the necessary precautions. When you call in, you are going to be asked a series of questions about, are you experiencing symptoms? If yes, then you have a different pool. If no, then you're in a different pool. And just really making sure that we are taking the precautions to keep our contractors safe, but also making sure that, because we are an essential business, we're getting your air conditioning service, we're getting your plumbing done, we're doing everything that we need to do to make sure that your houses are functioning like they should.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, especially because our homes don't know we're going through this, but we all make sure to be safe. And I know personally, I have some connection with OneGuard. We have our home warranty through OneGuard as well, and we've had one call in the last year, and it was after hours, but it was just awesome how attentive everybody was, responsive, customer service was through the roof, and it was just an overall pleasant experience. And so thank you so much, Shelly. Really appreciate you being here today.
Absolutely. Thanks as always for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. And Just so happens that I'm going through a refinance right now, and American Title is going to be part of that. So we have Ryan Quain, our CEO of American Title, with us. And I'm sorry, Ron. I'm staring at Ryan's name on the slide, but I'm
It's okay,
saying
Keith.
I know better.
Well,
Ron,
we're
thank you so much for being here
glad you
this morning.
decided to grace everybody.
Yeah,
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for inviting us, and thank you for the business. We appreciate it. We're
yeah,
open for business, although we're doing things a little differently now. Appointments are appreciated. Walk-ins, we deal with those as they come in. We like the fact that if you're coming in to sign, it's just you. You're not bringing kids, family members, agents. If we were going to do that, we'd prefer to have you Skype or Zoom or something into the meeting rather than being present. Just the only people at the meetings be the ones that need to be there to sign. Aside from that, business as usual.
good.
Most of our staff is on site in the branches doing what we do. I work with a great group of people, and they're all following the protocols, doing the things that they need to do to stay safe, and we're doing a good job at it. So
That's awesome.
wanted to take a minute, and if you guys didn't see it last week, see the military flyover honoring our first responders and medical workers. That was pretty amazing.
It was.
So we have not that we always haven't had a second group of heroes. My heroes have always been the military armed services. But I'd really want to, for you, if you have family members, if you are in any of those groups, I'd really like to say thank you from all of us here at American Title for everything you do for us. Hope
Absolutely.
you all enjoy the webinar and have a great day.
Thanks, Ron. Appreciate it, buddy. All right. Yeah. So thank you guys again. Awesome sponsors. Really fortunate to have two organizations that are sponsoring us, and they have such a great team over there, both of them respectively. So we gonna jump right into Facebook groups. If you are, I would imagine everyone's on Facebook by now, so I don't have to go through, 2.4 billion users. And you guys know Facebook is the third most visited website on the internet, number one social media platform. So building and creating value around using Facebook's certainly not going to be a huge element to the webinar this morning. But for those who may not know, I always take the opportunity to share with you a little definition of what it is we're talking about today. So with Facebook groups, it's basically a place where you can communicate. It's if anyone remembers the AOL days, right? Back in the AOL days when we had chat rooms of all various weird names, but chat rooms were real big back then. And so it's obviously a similarity with closed groups, with Facebook closed groups. These closed groups consist of any number of people from interest groups, team sports, anybody who has a book club, any type of interest at all. But for real estate agents, the big play here is a closed group that's built around a community subdivision, a zip code. And there are a number of closed groups for the neighborhoods all around town. And so as a real estate agent, that's why we're here today. Is if you're not in closed groups, you definitely got to take advantage of that. And I'm going to point that out to you as we go through the slides today. Just know I've got a few slides for you here, and then we're going to jump into a live environment. So I will be able to show you how to create a group, how to manage a group, just some of the functionality of the group. There's a lot you can do, not nearly enough time to cover everything today. But of course, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, compliments, feel free to jump on the chat box there on your right-hand side and shoot those over to me. We are live. This is being recorded, but I'm able to answer your questions as we move through. And of course, after today, if you have any questions, any concerns, you can email me, Keith, that's Keith, at westusa.com. I'm happy to answer any of your questions. And in fact, I get a ton of emails after the webinar, and it's kind of cool. So I love responding and building a relationship with all of our agents, whether you're with West USA or not. We certainly look to providing a high level of value for you guys as agents and just being abreast of what's happening and what's coming down the pipe and the way new tactics, strategies, tips, and so on. And so moving forward into Facebook, we're going to talk about why groups, right? Why should I, as a real estate agent, be in and creating groups? Number one, most important thing is building relationships. You cannot build relationships at scale the way you can when you're using a closed group. And the difference for a lot of folks who may not know, closed groups are awesome because when you're in a closed group, anybody that's in that closed group will receive notifications whenever there's a comment, posts, likes, shares, anything that happens in a closed group. Everyone in that closed group is notified. So, whether someone's posting an upcoming event or, someone's dog got out and they're posting a lost and found on the closed group, everybody's notified. And so it's a really neat community for folks to connect. And with groups, you won't miss anything. And so, especially moving forward into 2020, with respects to Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg came out over a year ago at the F8 conference and said that they were going to shift a lot of focus to closed groups. Facebook overall has become a very pay to play platform. And so for a lot of us real estate agents who are looking to keep our costs down, not run a lot of ads in order to get eyeballs onto our content, onto our videos, Facebook group is a great place to go. And if you may or may not have noticed on this last Super Bowl, Facebook ran two 30-second spots specifically for Facebook groups. So at $5.5 million a pop, that tells me they're pretty serious about using groups and positioning groups moving forward. So for a real estate agent, groups is a natural fit. If you're not in there, it's a super big play for you guys. So I highly encourage you doing it. Great opportunity for you to find prospects and get yourself some recognition before they're even aware they have a need. This isn't finding somebody who was intent to buy a home right then and there. This is about building a relationship and becoming top of mind and connecting with people in that closed group for that neighborhood, so that when they do have a need or they know someone who does, they automatically think of you because you've been so visible. You've been providing a high level of content, and they're going to remember you for that. Again, establishing yourself as a trusted peer in these closed groups, not just a real estate agent, but someone who provides information, education, talks about the community, connects people with each other. And so, and I will get into that as far as it comes to content creation. But when you're creating content, you want to remember to be high value. There's so much noise when it comes to being on Facebook and being in and using the platform that people are skimming through and looking for content that's of high value. Of course, yeah, we're going to stop and watch the cat videos and, see whatever someone's eating for lunch today. But at the end of the day, if you're in there putting out great content, people are going to remember you, and they're going to start to remember that you're posting, and you're going to build a following. And for you guys being local residents and in a neighborhood or a subdivision, I mean, that's a great opportunity for you to find the people who live there and make connections, and become a neighborhood mayor. And through the use of Facebook groups, you will hopefully, I know you will definitely grow your business and get some exposure for you through there. So, as I mentioned a little bit ago, Facebook is positioning groups to be a more prominent offering on closed groups. If you haven't already, you may have access to the new look. Just about a year ago, Facebook relaunched their app version. Their iPhone, their smart device app has been redone. It's very similar to what you see here on the screen. Very minimalized. They've taken away their iconic blue bar across the top and really have made some shifts from stylizing. And so you may actually already have access to it. And if you're in Facebook right now, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little teeny drop-down arrow there. It's the most commonly used tab, but yet the smallest thing that lives on Facebook, which is a little frustrating at times. But even though I joke about that, if you clicked on that tab, and then if you scroll down when your menu opens up, if you see where it says switch to new Facebook, that means you're going to get, or you could have a sneak peek at and switch over to the new look. It is a complete change from what they have now. And so sometimes people are resistant to change. And so they're leaving you the option to either continue on with the current version or switch to the new Facebook. And when you do that, you're going to see something similar to this. So they've moved around a lot of the menu bars. They've stylized it a lot differently, much differently. And they've given you some category icons there at the very top where you see the blue house. Then there's the play button for videos. You've got the house or the building there for marketplace. The next one is the closed groups tab. And that is what, when you click on it, you would see they have moved the groups tab to be more prominent and allowing you guys to connect with local folks and local community. So groups was a big push for them, especially when they got in trouble. People were kind of getting tired of seeing all the ads and having their data taken and used against them for advertising. And so a lot of the push is to move into the closed groups, and people are going to dive down and niche into what they want to see more of. And that's connecting with like-minded people who have similar interests, whether you're hiking, biking, you name it. We actually use closed groups here at West USA Realty. If you are not currently in the closed group for your branch, we have a closed group for each of our branches here at West USA. And so with our all of our locations, they all have their closed group, and we have our agents connect with other agents out of that branch. And it's a great little forum for those agents from that office to connect with their branch manager. As you can see there, just about halfway down, Ginger Zilk is our branch manager out of our Surprise location. And so she often, as any branch manager should, post in their closed group and share upcoming meeting schedules, happy hours, virtual happy hours for now, and any information in the way of CE classes, information about the branch, connecting with other agents. If you need someone to sit an open house, looking for a property management company, looking for a vendor, whether it's home inspection, you name it. So it's an awesome, great place for you guys to connect. So if you're not in your branch closed group, just do a simple search and make sure you join and jump in there. And know also too that all those folks that are in there are just agents. So there's no soliciting, nobody in there trying to sell anything that's not related to real estate. So I put together 3 tips for you guys when you're creating your page. And of course, these slides will all be available. If you want to email me, I will make them available. And then also this is recorded, so you can follow up and watch it at a later date. But I put together 3 tips for you guys when it comes to creating your page. Now, there's 2 things that you can do. You can either get into an existing closed group, or you can create your own. Now, chances are the closed groups already exist. But if you find yourself in a situation where you're going to create a closed group, and not just around 85085 or living Scottsdale, whatever you want to name it. If you want to create a group around an interest-based topic, whether into arts and crafts or bicycling or jogging or whatever, any topic you can really think of, it's amazing the different categories they have. If you're going to create a closed group, when you want to focus on your local farm. And so specifically for a neighborhood, if you're going to create one geographically, you want to make sure that you're going to create one around the neighborhood. And trust me when I tell you that you will dominate from using this online as opposed to offline. You're just able to connect with more people at a faster clip and build your audience and get some exposure for you. 2, claim your niche. So if it's not going to be around a geographical area or a neighborhood or a subdivision, then jump in there and see what's available as far as creating a group around an interest. It's highly unlikely that you'll be the first agent to launch a group for that community, but there's no reason why you can't have multiple ones, especially if a group already exists, but it's kind of dormant and really no one's engaging and no one's posting any content. And so if you see a group that someone's doing it, but you can do it better, by all means, jump in there and create one and start to build that audience, especially if you're going to provide more high value content for those members and ultimately reap the rewards by creating those relationships. So they tend to work best when you keep things focused around whether you're a film buff or recreational sports. Just some ideas for you there for topics. Any charity work you may do. There's just a number of different possibilities that can come from creating a closed group and then inviting those folks in there. And we'll talk about that as well. Want to use SEO friendly names. So Goodyear Musicians, Norterra Hikers, Moon Valley Gardeners, Living Sun Lakes, something that specifically says in the name where it's located and what it's about. That will grab a lot of attention from anybody who's searching closed groups. And when it comes to finding closed groups, because Facebook knows where we're at all times, especially if you have your location-based services turned on, you can find closed groups near you. And so whether you're looking for closed groups to get into or someone else is looking for one, your title will also speak to what it's about and will automatically catch people's eyes and increase your chance of having somebody join the group. And here's a pro tip. I love this one. If you do create a closed group, find or go try to find the domain name for that closed group. And if you went to GoDaddy or any one of your domain service providers and purchase the domain name, you can jump into and do a 301 redirect. You can redirect that domain name directly to the Facebook group. So now I've got, livingsunlakes.com. And I haven't tested to see if that's available. So whatever you decide the name to be, you can take that pretty domain name and put that on a business card, in your email signature, on all your other social media, as opposed to copying and pasting, facebook.com/browse groups/ and then whatever the name is, and then a bunch of numbers. That's considered an ugly URL. Doesn't look very nice on any type of marketing collateral. So if you buy the domain name and then redirect it to your closed group, it'll look really nice. Another perfect example, Boys Burger Club. Shout out to Mike Weinstein and all the boys over there. They have boysburgerclub.com, and that redirects to their closed group, which is a very successful one. So just an example for you, a little pro tip. Keep that in mind for when and if you decide to create a closed group. So when you get into creating the closed group, and we'll show you there in a live environment here shortly, one of the things to keep in mind is that whether you're creating one or you belong to one or you want to join one, this is an example. Buckeye Living, one of our agents out there on the West Side, has created a closed group, and he has created some rules for the from the admins, and highly recommend doing this as well for you guys when creating a closed group. I mean, it's your top of mind stuff. Be courteous, kind, no hate speech, no spamming of promotions, respect everyone's privacy. You can have as little or as many rules as you'd like. And then no self-promotion. This group is to highlight all the many wonderful things that there is in Buckeye. This is not a buying and selling page. If anyone's been in closed groups, you probably belong to one or two. I know I follow several swap sites for trading and selling, previously lightly used stuff. But you can create the group and obviously dictate your rules. Now, one of the closed groups that I belong to in my specific neighborhood is actually run by an agent from another brokerage. And in there, she specifically says no other agents are allowed to come into the closed group and promote their business. So open houses, being an agent, and so on. I've seen other closed groups that are run by an agent, and they actually allow anyone to promote their business, but they do it on a certain day of the month. So the last Friday of the month is small business entrepreneurial self-promotion day, regardless of you're an agent or not. I actually think that's a fantastic rule. So you're not saying no, but you're just specifically saying on a certain day. That way the rest of the day or the rest of the month is pure with information about building the community and folks just going about their conversations and just building relationships. And so however you approach the rules, completely up to you, but just know that it's good to set those rules so that way as an admin, should you run into any issues, you can fall back on that and you won't have any compliance issues when it comes to Facebook complaints if you're having to remove somebody from a group as an admin. So wanted to share that with you. So when we get into Facebook closed groups, and I mentioned earlier, creating high value content, it's important that we're not just posting trivial nonsense in there. It's good for, especially for an agent. It's one thing if community neighbors are connecting with one another because, there was something traumatic that happened in the neighborhood or there was a theft of something. That's one thing. But when you guys are in there creating your content, it's important to choose and create an editorial calendar. A content calendar will help you plan out and schedule the content that you're going to put into your closed group. And the nice thing about having a calendar is obviously you can plan ahead and then you can set your certain days of the week to have certain topics. And that'll allow you to find anybody. If you want to interview somebody or a local business owner, you can give them a heads up, let them know you maybe do a Zoom call, maybe do a Facebook Live, or maybe it's you visiting the local business owner, maybe ordering a few of the items off the menu, and then doing a cool post about the small business owner or restaurant that's in the neighborhood and introducing them like a featured community post. And so if you feel like this may be overwhelming, I know a lot of agents who partner with their loan officer or a title rep. Maybe they have a team member or somebody who can help them also be an admin on the closed group, and then moderate a lot of the content, a lot of the engagement that's happening on the closed groups. That way, it doesn't feel overwhelming. And so, a lot of the closed groups have multiple people from the business. If their business services yours, maybe they would want to get on in there as well. Naturally, we're all looking for an opportunity to grow our business and connect with folks within a specific community. Next, we have monthly interviews. So when it comes to creating high value content, consider interviewing a team member or a vendor or a partner once a month or once a week, depending on what you're comfortable with. But great high value content is interviewing somebody and then bringing them on Facebook Live. And perfect segue. I'm actually going to be doing how to use Facebook Live from your computer next week on Thursday. They rolled out a new Facebook Live producer. So this is going live from your laptop and then obviously using that. And since we're all social distancing still for a little while, a great tool for you to use to still showcase your business in products and services and interview folks in the closed group. Connecting influencers, another great high value content. Interview people in the community. As I mentioned, small business owner, do a spotlight. If a new and I love seeing this up where I'm living, there's still a lot of business owners who were intent was to open and are still pushing forward. Everyone's really rallying around the small business owners during this time, and even though they're doing limited menus or curbside pickup, there's no reason why you as an agent can't connect with them, give them a little push. You will be seen as a connector. And at the same time, promoting a small business owner. And, especially if you get them on camera or you do a Facebook Live, you're going to tag them in that comment section. Hopefully you've already invited them into your closed group, but they're going to want to share that video with their friends and family too. So that's only going to help you further your exposure as a real estate agent servicing that neighborhood. Market trends for your neighborhood, right? So your farm, where do you want to get some exposure and really drive home the fact that you're an agent and infiltrate that community? Market trends is a great high value content for the month. Whether you do that as a video or as a post, or you create an infographic through the use of Canva, there's no reason why you can't position yourself as a neighborhood expert. You can grab some statistics off the MLS, talk about the average home sale in that month, any appreciation in value, what's the current inventory look like. You can really take advantage of all those statistics and put it together in a nice layman's terms, and they can see what's happening in our neighborhood and hopefully create some interest for someone who may not be considering selling, but obviously you're putting out good information. And then in those posts, make sure you guys are always asking questions. At the last thing you put either the call to action or ask a thought-provoking question of your viewer, your audience, and encourage them to talk and share and get into that comment thread. And then for you, make sure you come back into that closed group on your content and engage those people in conversation. This is why you're doing it. So no posting and ghosting. Definitely make sure you follow back up and get back in there. And if you need to, you can DM them, direct message, private message them, and then take that conversation offline on the phone or however you're comfortable. But at the end of the day, capture their information. Now you've got a lead and you're growing your business and adding people into your CRM at a good rate. So keep it unique and exclusive too when it comes to these closed groups. If you're posting the same content on your business page and on your Instagram and then on your Twitter and then in these closed groups, you're really not giving this group any type of exclusivity feel. There's nothing unique about it. I don't need to be in the closed group because you're going to post that content on all your other channels. So keep your content unique and exclusive to that group only, so that the only way they can get to it is if they belong to that closed group. And that will really help with creating high value content as well for you in your closed group. All right, so feel free to ask any questions. I'm staring at a blank screen right now. I know I'm happy to answer anything in live time. So shoot it over to me if you got them. So as I mentioned, when it comes to creating your closed group, I know a lot of folks are like, okay, well, I'm going to create a closed group. How do I get people into that closed group? How do I let people know that the closed group exists? And when you're in there, you want to attract people into that closed group. Try your best to minimize doing any just listed or open houses, um, just sold. It's okay to put that information in there, but if that's the only thing you're posting, the only thing as an agent that you're posting is just listed, just sold, open house, that'll tune off and tune out people really quick. They want to see stuff about your expertise in the neighborhood, whether you know where the best 3 or 4 splash pads are within a 10-mile radius of the neighborhood, uh, outdoor seating when the weather is great and we're all able to return back to life as we last knew it. Whether you share content about the neighborhood schools in the area, this is information that will help people learn more about their community. At the same time, remember you and remember you the next time they have a need. So definitely want to diversify your type of content. As I mentioned earlier, whether it's a video or post, switching up your content will keep people coming back and keep people attracted to your closed group. So diversifying your content, whether one post is an infographic, then you do a video, then you do live stream, switching it up and having a nice diverse content is going to be key, because that'll keep people interested and it makes the closed group sticky. And when we say sticky, that means they keep coming back and they stay on it for a long period of time. Share personal stories of local residents. You know, if somebody is in need of something right now, you're a connector. You know, you're a connector and you can connect that person with some support and help, whether it's a food bank. If you sell a home to, or have a new buyer comes in and the new residents, get the key and everything like that, if it's okay with them, get a permission from them first, but do a new resident introduction. Um, and obviously leave off personal information, but Betty Sue and her husband, John K or whatever, recently moved in the neighborhood. Like to welcome them to it. If anybody wants to reach out and say hi, they have a 6-year-old daughter who's looking to attend school, and any information anyone can share about elementary schools in the area. There's an opportunity for you to be that person who makes the introduction and announces new people into the area. Share personal stories of local business owners. As I mentioned on a previous slide, you have a great opportunity to get out and get to know the neighborhood, get to know the business owners, and do your own posts. And so take a photo of the front of the store. Maybe it's a photo of or a video of the business owner, small pizzeria, how long have they been in business, any specials they may be doing. Maybe because of your post, they'll give you an exclusivity coupon, so that can only be used from the post itself in the closed group, so they know that nobody's coming from outside and using the post. And so that'll let everybody know, hey, because of this post, the local business owner gave me, buy one, get one pizzas on Tuesdays. And, be sure to stop in and say hi or give them a call. Let them know you're going to be visiting their business. Post videos and interviews from the locals. Again, great content for you to help attract more residents into the area. And whether you create your content on your business page first and then share it into the closed group from your business page, which is a subtle way of reminding everybody that you are a real estate agent. So it doesn't have to be every time, but every now and then, reserve one of these stories, one of these posts, the content, and post it on your business page. Once it's posted there, then share it in to the closed group, and people will then visit your business page to watch the entire video or to connect with you. But it's a subtle way to remind everyone that you're an agent and that you have a small business, and then obviously you'll increase your engagement on your business side as well. Host weekly Facebook Live events. Not live in the sense like let's all go down to the park and have a movie night or a live band. Live in the sense of Facebook Live. Host a weekly event on Facebook Live, and again, schedule that in your calendar so people start to look for it. You're conditioning your audience to look for that live event on 10 a.m. on Fridays. Maybe you're gonna do a featured home, or you partner with a contractor, and every week we talk about one thing that you can do to increase the value of your home. Again, you don't need to always focus on someone whose intent is to buy or sell. This could be after the sale. This could be anyone that you may have friend requested it during the contract or before the contract closes, and encourage them to join the closed group. And then you can continue to provide value to your past clients as well through home remodeling, increasing the value of your home, partner with home warranty, things that, as Shelly mentioned earlier, this is the time to make sure we get our ACs checked. So there's a lot you can do to create value within that community, just to keep reminding them that you are an agent. So the next time they do have a need or they know someone who does, they're going to think of you. And that's a great way to keep top of mind, because I know a lot of agents breaks their heart when they find out that a past client couldn't remember their name and would have given them a referral had they remembered it. Post daily, weekly, monthly offers from local businesses. Already touched on that one. Huge opportunity for you guys to go around to the local businesses, shake hands, well, or maybe bump elbows for now, connect with them and introduce yourself, become a staple and a local mayor of the area, and use your Facebook closed group again to push out that content and share great information about the community. That hyper niched area, your farm, is where you want to focus on it. And so if you establish yourself as a neighborhood expert, people will gravitate to that and want to use you the next time they have a need. Create and post fun surveys focused on the community. Create a contest. Who's going to decorate their front door as a Christmas package? Maybe you do a front door decoration contest where everyone submits their front door into the contest, and we do a fun raffle or giveaway or something. Halloween time, best costume. Do a couple different categories. 6 and under, 6 to 14, adults. However you want to do it. Use the closed groups as a fun way to create contests, and post some surveys about things that we could do to increase communication with the community, or any events that may be coming up. It's a great way for you to encourage engagement. And then again, on engagement, comment, engage with others on Facebook regularly. So be active, be in there. Again, building relationships is the most important thing, and it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And so the more you cultivate and nurture those relationships and stay in those closed groups, especially if you're the admin, will definitely be advantageous for you and benefit you in the long run, certainly. So last one before we jump into a live environment. We've put together, for Facebook closed groups, being in marketing, doing what I do, I like to be in closed groups with other marketers, other social media consultants, other digital marketing agencies, and so on are in groups, and we're always sharing best tips, practices, things that are happening. You, as a real estate agent, have an opportunity to connect in closed groups with other real estate agents as well. And if you haven't already, I put together 5 of pretty much the most common ones, the ones that I see the most. NAR has their own closed group, which is awesome. So if you haven't done so, highly recommend jumping into NAR, their closed group they have for agents. Inman's got one as well, agent to agent. You can join their closed group. Lots of agents in there talking about best shared practices, challenges, things that they do. You can always bounce some ideas off people and see what comes out that way. And then NAR has a young professional network as well. They have a Millennials Young Professional Association. That association has their own closed group for those folks. And so if that speaks to you, awesome group to join as well. There's one called Lab Coat Agents. This one's pretty cool. They are the science. They're more about the science of real estate, and so they break down a lot of analytics. If you're a what is that, left side analytical? They have a lot of the science behind real estate, and they push a lot of great content in there, and obviously provide high value content for real estate agents. And so check out that group as well. And then the last one, Raise the Bar. Raise the Bar is predominantly, it looked like there was a lot of agents out of the East Coast in there, but last I saw it was several thousand agents in there. And so another one for you guys to take a look at and hopefully find some awesome opportunity to connect in there as well. Last slide here before we jump into a live environment. We actually have we actually have next Thursday, we're going to go through Facebook Live with using your computer. So I'll be sending out a reminder. There'll be an email blast as well. But I want to throw this slide up there for you real quick, just to remind you guys to bookmark for next Thursday. So that should be a fun one. It's literally getting in there and how to create a Facebook Live, running one, posting, and how it's all set up from there. And so great question from Nick. Yeah, Nick, how do you join the groups from your business page within Facebook? So Facebook recently, well, not recently, but in recent years, they've allowed you to either join a closed group as a person or as a business if you happen to manage a business account. And like I hope all of you have created a Facebook business page, when you go to join a group, a little pop-up box will ask you, would you like to join as you, the person, or you as the business? And so I'll show you guys where that lives under the groups here when we get into it. All right, so let me see if I can back out of this without breaking anything. And last time we jumped over to a live environment through our browser, things froze up on us. So if it freezes up, definitely let me know, and we'll pause and make sure it happens. All right, here we go. Okay, so from cool. All right, no one's seeing it. All right, so I'm assuming everybody still see this. So I'm in Facebook right now. I'm at facebook.com/groups. So this is the general landing page right now for your groups. So as you can see there, popular near you. So these are groups that are within a geographical area of where I'm currently located. On the left-hand side here for your navigation, when you're in Facebook, you'll see groups that you manage. And so obviously through this account, we manage multiple different closed groups for all of our branch locations I mentioned earlier. In the center, groups near you, and then Facebook's going to suggest some groups for you based on your interest, other groups you belong to, groups that your friends belong to, which is an awesome category down here at the bottom. As I mentioned, there are a lot of categories. So buying and selling, relationship identity, hobbies and interests, civil and community. There's a number of groups here. Business is pretty much where most of our closed groups are going to live, education style. You guys can go through this and find a bunch of them. When you create a closed group, you will choose a category and it will fall under one of these. Friends groups. So these are groups that my friends belong to, that I'm friends with on Facebook. So if there's something that interests me, or I'd like to join that group as well, then you can jump in there and join the conversation. And then more suggestions based on interests and so on. And so as you can see, there are, I think, there's 1.6 million closed groups is what I last saw as a statistic. So lots of groups there for you to belong to. But we're going to go into creating a group. So I'm just going to go on the premise that you guys are wanting to create your own group. You want to be the admin. You want to join, have some people help you out with it. So when it comes to, real quick here, upper right hand corner, just so you guys can see, if you have the switch to new Facebook, you can. Just know that if it freaks you out at first, because I know it did for me, just kind of acclimating myself to where all the new stuff is, or where things have been moved to. Don't worry, you can actually go back and switch back to the old version, and switch back to classic Facebook. Jump in there. If you have it, take a look at it, run it through its paces, get familiar with it. And then when you're comfortable, you can, if you want, you can switch back to classic mode, and then, flip back and forth. So that's what I've been doing. If I need to get something done real quick, I'll stay in classic mode. If I want to go play and see how the new one is, because eventually they will make a switch and we can't go back to it, then I'll go check it out as well. So here's your classic mode. We're going to go here. I'm going to jump back into, all right, let me just here. So facebook.com/groups is the easiest way to get to your groups tab. And then we're going to create a new group. So when I click on create a new group, first thing it's going to ask me, it wants me to name this group. So again, remember what I said about keeping it SEO? We want to keep it something that's screams the neighborhood, the area. And so I'm just going to do something like Living Scottsdale. Now, I will delete this group after today's webinar, but I'm just going to, for the sake of this, I can't talk and type at the same time. For the sake of this webinar, we're going to go ahead and just go Living Scottsdale. So that may already exist. Either way, it doesn't matter. But that's what I'm going to choose for the name of my group. So anything and everything Scottsdale, whether you're doing, Norterra 85085 or, Moon Valley Living, something a little more hyper niche. Living Scottsdale, the goal is to encompass everybody that lives in Scottsdale. So potential for a lot of followers and folks to be in your closed group. So adding someone's name, it's going to ask you if you want to add anybody to the closed group right off the bat. Don't worry, you don't have to do that right off the bat. You can skip that portion until you build out everything. So it's going to ask me if I want to keep this group public or private. Naturally, for you as a real estate agent, your goal is to have it public. You want people to find this group. You want people to have the group come up if they're nearby or looking to move to Scottsdale and they come across the closed group. I know a lot of folks who are out-of-state buyers who will go into the closed groups tab and then find the area in which they want to move. And then they see what kind of closed groups already exist so they can learn more about a neighborhood or a zip code subdivision, especially if they're from out of state. They really don't have any basis for or a baseline for what it's like to live in the area. So they'll use a closed group in order to do their homework. All right. If you're, let's say you're a real estate agent and you want to create a closed group, but make it private. An example of that would be I know a few agents who have a closed group that exists only of their past clients. If they are at that level where you've got several hundred past clients in the closed group, and they do some exclusive content about they're remodeling homes. They do exclusive content, just their past clients. They like to be involved in what their past clients are doing. And so I've seen some closed groups that are private, and the only way you can get in there is when that agent invites you in. And they'll do fun stuff too, where once a month they'll throw in a Starbucks QR code. You can actually go to starbucks.com and buy a digital gift card. They'll give you a QR code and you can post that into the closed group and you can tell all your past clients, hey, hope everyone's having a great week or whatever. Have a coffee on me. It's on the honor system though. So please only use this QR code one time, but by all means, enjoy a cup of coffee on me. And especially in this current climate where we really can't get out and have a cup of coffee with anybody, maybe you could do something like a Zoom, let's have a coffee, cup of coffee together, past clients jump on. And then if you're going to do something like that, have some content available like, hey, let's talk about refinancing your home, or have a loan officer on. You can talk about perfect time right now since the interest rates are so low. Or maybe you guys talk about backyard stylizing or decluttering. Maybe you have a professional organizer on and you do a Zoom class, you buy everybody a cup of coffee, and then we jump on Zoom and we talk about, hey, what you can do to declutter your home, spring cleaning. What can we do to make things a little more tidy around the house? Again, the goal is for you is you're connecting with these people and you're staying top of mind. And so especially more now than ever, we can use this technology to do it virtually and have fun with it at the same time. So anyways, all right, I beat that horse to death. All right, so public visibility. Anyone can find the group. We definitely want to leave it visible. And from there, go ahead and hit create. So as soon as you create the group, that's about it. It's not a lot of entailed at the front end. Here is your closed group. Obviously, it's labeled Scottsdale Living. It is public, and you've got your navigation here on the side. First thing you want to do is upload a photo. Choose an image for your cover photo for your closed group. Have fun with this. Be creative, unique, whether it's an exterior photo of the neighborhood, maybe it's a landmark, or I know a lot of subdivisions have, the big, cinder block Desert Mountain Ranch or Moon Valley or Welcome to Scottsdale, whatever is an establishing shot. You can also use this space to talk about the group. Maybe you do a collage of folks who send their photo in. You do a collage of the neighborhood. You name it. This is a fantastic place for you to use this real estate for your marketing and anything you want to feature in a closed group. Over on the left-hand side, let's jump into the About tab. First one there at the top is the About section. This is some information you're going to need to fill out about your closed group. Highly recommend you doing it. But let me do one thing here real quick. When creating your closed group, you want to take, as I mentioned, take advantage of using a description about the closed group. What is it that is about the closed group? Why would we want to? What's the objective? Make it clear that this closed group consists of people who are into a certain interest or live in a certain area. You want to talk about who's your target member, who's the audience. If I'm coming across or stumbling upon this closed group for the first time, this is your opportunity to create some emotive content on why one would want to join the group. Use your keywords here, in the title of the group, and really point out the specifics. And that way you can make sure you get the right people in there and who are going to not only enjoy the content, but engage in the conversation and really participate and really make the experience very unique for you. So as you can see right there, add description. Take your time on this one, but I'm sure you guys belong to at least one closed group. So look around and see what other closed groups exist. And even though there may be another closed group that kind of covers the same topic or does cover the same topic as you, remember, this isn't really a competition. This is just about contributing high value content. And so if there is another group that's similar, you're going to bring your own flavor to it, and maybe the people in it are going to as well. And so to have fun with this, take some time and put some thought into the description. Look and see what other people have as far as the description as well, and then that way that will help you put a better closed group out there. So your content's going to live there, and then under as you're scrolling down, you'll see members. And so first thing is first, you're going to be an admin, as not only an admin but as a member, and be the first one of it. And then you can see all the other members in here as well. Now, know this little trick. I've had a lot of agents before who have created a closed group, or they didn't like it. They wanted to delete it. In order to delete a closed group, you actually have to remove everybody from the closed group so that you're the last one. And when you are the last one, then you can remove yourself. And by doing so, when you go to remove yourself, it will ask you, do you want us to delete the group at this time? So that's a common question that I get, but not one that's easily answered because there's just nowhere to find it. And so if you ever need to delete a group, just be the last one. And then when you delete yourself, you delete the group as well. So making our way around the closed group, we're going to go on the tabs up here on the left-hand side. You'll see discussions. So as discussions take place, you'll see all those live here in the main feed. As I mentioned, you can find out who the members are, and you can see who all is in there. And this is where you would also then identify somebody as being an editor or an admin that potentially could help you out as well. Events. This is a big one, especially if you're managing a closed group and you have an open house. Definitely take advantage of using this event tab to create an open house for the community. Let everyone know that there will be an open house. Increase your foot traffic, potentially give you an opportunity to make some new friends, shake some hands, and some leads for you in that respect. And then if you're doing anything virtually, you can also do events and use the event tab to host a upcoming virtual Zoom webinar with a loan officer or a title rep. Anybody who has any questions about real estate, chances are you had your 3 most common questions. Everyone knows what those are. There's no reason why you can't go and create a video for those 3 common questions and just get them into the closed group as another example of high value content. Watch party. So if you guys want to watch something together and then engage in a live conversation while you're watching it, you can do so as well. Moderate the group so you can get in there and talk to see topics, scheduled posts, member requests. So if anybody wants to come in and join the group, I will show you here in the settings in a second. You can actually create a gateway so that folks have to answer a certain couple of questions. Do you live in the 85085? How long have you lived here? And that would pre-qualify anybody who's joining the group and make sure that you have members in the group who you want in there. And then group quality is a unique tab there. Facebook added this one after all that privacy issue stuff that happened, and they paid out, was it $5 billion to the FTC. So one of the things they added to the closed groups was the ability to see the quality of the group. And that shows any violations, anybody in the group that's been abusive, posting inappropriate content. If this group is peddling false news, anything in the way that would degrade the value or the quality of the group. They added this community standards tab that allows you to kind of see the health of the group, and that would help anybody who wants to join also consider, this being something they want to belong to. So right across here, this will be below your cover photo. There is a More tab. So click on that More tab there, and then we're going to get into the Edit Group Settings. When you get into the Edit Group Settings, there's quite a bit of information here. This is another area where you can join or you can go in and create your description. Write the description for your tab. Then you can add location. So this can help people find you better. So you can identify a location. And then when folks are looking for groups that are near them, your group would then pop up. Highly recommend using location, again, since this is a hyper niched tool that you can use to farm your neighborhood. Again, you guys, we're not focusing on like out of state or Northern Arizona. This is all about your small community. So you want to add your group in there as well. Taglines or tags, sorry, not taglines, keywords. So this will help people find the group. So any tags or keywords that are relevant to your topic or to your neighborhood, certainly want to put those in there as well. So, Moon Valley, Scottsdale, but then dive deeper into specific community subdivisions and make sure you add that tag in there as well. So apps is a whole nother beast. Facebook has a lot of third-party apps that can complement your closed group. I'm just gonna, was gonna open it here, but it looks like it's thinking. So I was so hesitant to click on that button because it's like a whole nother conversation, but I was just wanting to show you what it is. And that may have, let's see here. Yeah, let me go ahead and hit refresh. Okay, let's see here, guys. One second. Let me just back out and get back in there real quick. Oh, I think we might have lost. Did we lose the browser? All right. All right, let's go back in here again. All right, give me a second here. Let me find my group. Whoop. What's that? There. Oh, there it is. All right, cool. All right. Let's try that again. All right, so we're not going to click on that app, but just know that Facebook closed groups, they have apps that they integrate with third party. One of the apps that I use is Hootsuite. I use Hootsuite to post content out. As you can imagine, before the apps existed, I would open 8 different tabs for each of the closed groups for all of our branches. And that could be a little overwhelming at times. And so one of the apps they have is they allow you to use and integrate Hootsuite. And then I can post content to all the closed groups and make a blast announcement to all of our agents if that's what we need to do. So that lives in there. You can learn more about that, but highly recommend checking that out and see if there's something there that works for you. Scheduling, you can integrate calendar, third-party calendars if you wanted to set up some appointments. You can link your business page to here if you like. Highly recommend, if you are an agent, you're the admin, you can link your business page to this closed group if you want. You can change the color out on the skin, not a huge deal. You see more of that color on the app than you do on a browser. Customize your address. So if you wanted to get rid of this ugly URL here at the top, you can obviously do a customized address and have that look a little bit better for you as well. Visibility badges. What's nice about closed groups is Facebook will award top users, top people who converse, people who are engaged in the group. You can award badges to folks, and then you can start to see who some of your power users are in the closed group as well. They have sections, which is really nice. Not really relevant to anything that you guys want to do, but you can add certain sections. Some of these groups belong for gamers. And then there's also some social learning units. If you wanted to group things together, groups can be used for educational. So getting into where you guys would probably want to focus is membership approvals. So if you want to approve somebody, which I highly recommend you do, this is where you would go. Creating membership approvals. This will allow, if you want to allow other members to invite your new people in, they can, or if they still have to go through an approval process, you can choose groups to upload a file of pre-approved members to your groups. And so if anybody is, if you have a database, your CRM of existing email addresses for a specific area, you can upload them, and Facebook will cross-post or cross-reference your email list with who they have on file. And if those folks use the same exact email that they do to log into their Facebook, they'll get a notification that a group has been created and they may want to join it. Ask questions. So this one's an awesome one for membership requests. You can come up with 3 questions to pre-qualify, as I mentioned, and allow your potential members to answer those questions, and that way it'll help you screen who's coming and who isn't. And then this is where you also add your group rules. And so highly recommend creating group rules if you're going to create a closed group as well. If you join a closed group, make sure you check those rules as well. You certainly would be or could promote your business, but they may have some restrictions about when and where you do it. So keyword alerts, if anybody says anything that you want to, you can set up some keyword alerts. So if a certain keyword makes it into the closed group by way of a post, you can get a notification, get an alert. So if there's a topic or something that you want to keep an eye on, or maybe you don't want any other realtors in there, and someone comes in and they obviously sneak in, and then they start talking about open houses or real estate or realtor, you can drop those keywords in there. It'll notify you that the conversation has happened, and then you can deal with that person accordingly. So closed groups is pretty straightforward when it comes to posting. Under the More tab, you can invite members. So obviously you want to go and invite anybody that lives in the neighborhood or the area. And then you can link existing groups to one another. So maybe you run a couple different groups, you can as well. I want to jump back out here to the main group, and I want to show you guys a really cool posting tool. Very similar, no real difference than if you were to post content to your business page or to your personal. Clicking inside the box here will allow you to post your content. But one of the really cool things that I like about closed groups is they have a formatting tool. So you can see right here this formatting tool when you're going to create a post. Whatever your topic is, you can use the formatting tool and highlight, like if there was a title or a subject of the post, you can bold or make it italicized, and then that'll allow you to really draw more attention to your post. So let's say you've got the rest of your content is here, and then you post it. What happens is, in addition to everybody else that's posting, this will help your post stand out. And so you, much like if you're structuring an email or in a Word document, there's some cool tools that some cool features there you can use in order to format your post when you post. So that's really about the nuts and bolts of creating a Facebook closed group. Again, if you have any questions or concerns, any afterthoughts after the webinar today, you can email me. I'm Keith, Keith, @westusa.com. If you would like, I can send you a link to the slides that go through, obviously, all the tips that I share with you. But have fun with the closed groups. Highly recommend jumping in there. And if you do not belong to one or want to create one, do so right away, because they get a lot of traffic, they get a lot of exposure. And as I said, the number one important thing is when someone's in a closed group, they don't miss any of the content. Unlike the pay-to-play business model with our business pages, if someone's running a content or running a post on their business page, a lot of your audience doesn't always see it because the way the algorithm is geared. So closed groups are awesome. And then that little notification in the upper right-hand corner will tell you that people are having conversations, connecting and chatting. And then it obviously gives you an opportunity to engage with them. So that's really about it. Nothing too out of the usual, much like any of the other Facebook features they have. Highly recommend jumping in there and going to live. And when you do go live next Thursday, when we have the class, I will take you through this amazing live producer they have come out with, and we will go through the little nuances, setting your gear up, camera issues. We have a camera issue, camera, lighting, anything like that. I'll put together all the cool stuff to set yourself up so that you can go live from your home and use this fun Facebook Live producer feature. So thank you guys so much for your time today. I certainly look forward to you guys being back on Thursday. Stay healthy, stay positive, and have a great day.